Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Michael, weekend edition. And we now are going to move to our word of the day. Mornings with Michael is for information and educational purposes only, and we have two nice PowerPoint presentations to share with you today. Perdurable is our word of the day. Enduring, continuously imperishable. When selling point of the cast iron cookware, it's seemingly perdurable, it is. So we go to the S&P 500 heat map, see how we ended the week. Just refresh it here a moment. And we can see we got a lot of green. NVIDIA and some of the semiconductors continue to pull back a little bit. Google was up and Meta was up really strong. Amazon, Tesla, Walmart, Costco, Eli Lilly, AbbVie were some of the strength. Abbott was strong as well, and energy prices fell, even though oil was bouncing. And that is the story there. Let's go to our first PowerPoint presentation. So this is what we have going. Didn't have quite a double bottom. We hit our target here to come up, and we look like we got a hanging man. Hanging man is when you move up in price. It actually looks like a little bit of wedging too, because it's low volume and heading up on low volume. So this is a hanging man, and usually what happens in a hanging man, it pulls back in price. So we think we may be headed down for this area again. So that is a story. Quickly bring up price target on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So we think we're going to pull back to 382.20. That's right about where we have the marker there. And we're going to skip the QQ. We're going to skip the IWM for the moment. Our target on the IWM is still 198.05. And this is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has been heading up. And this is kind of the highest level on the CCI. You can kind of see a hinge starting to form. We think on the NASDAQ, this could pull back to 425.73. Eventually pulling back initially to 455.89 and then to 425.73. What do we got here on the S&P 500? It's moving up. Looks like we're starting to hinge here, and we have definitely started to hinge here. Hit a high, tried to come back up here and could not go any higher. That's on commodity channel index. And on the SPY, we have pulled back to 527.07, eventually pulling back to 501.22. The VIX. The VIX on the bottom here. On the top, this is a hanging man. On the bottom is an inverted hammer. An inverted hammer is a bullish tenure. You can see it bounces off the bottom here, and it bounces off the bottom here. If it comes through this line, this will confirm it. And so that is the story with the VIX and the volatility index. We move on to fear and greed from the fear index. And you can see we had extreme greed 1 year ago, 1 month ago. Extreme greed had dropped to 88. And 1 week ago, that extreme greed had dropped to greed at 65. And the previous close was at 57, and now we're at 54, getting much closer to that fear side of the index. So there we have it. What do we think we have here? I think these guys can continue to go up on parabolic moves. Eventually, these things must take some profits and pull back to some moving average. We got these fan lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on Microsoft. Google is pretty close to the profit zone. Meta which did have a strong pullback and just bounced on Friday. Eli Lilly, look at that parabolic move. And NVIDIA, which everybody has been talking about. So there we have that. U.S. consumers have exhausted their savings, says Kobisi letter. $2.3 billion of accumulated savings have been depleted by Americans since August of 2021. And look at this chart, heading down into negative territory, $169.6 billion negative. In other words, to fight rising prices and elevated interest rates, U.S. households have gone into debt at the fastest pace since the 2008 financial crisis. So there we have that bit of news. U.S. bankruptcy filings by the year. We've had 275 bankruptcy filings through the end of May. We'll just have to find out how that progresses in June and July. U.S. factory orders unexpectedly tumbled in May. Gone negative over here, as you can see in the red. Construction industry suffers largest layoffs since the crash of 2008, as initial jobless claims disappoint again. Look at this heading up. Jobless claims came in strong, but see if I can get to my, here we see government job openings, but government job openings don't contribute anything to the economy or in a form of wealth redistribution. They're soaring while the private sector openings are crashing. Look at the red line is private jobs, and the green line is government jobs. And the BRICS countries back Russia's initiative to create a grain exchange, according to this agricultural minister. Countries supporting initiative to create a grain exchange continue to fight against the U.S. Economic fight, that is. One of the most accurate recession indicators is close to sounding the alarm as unemployment continues to rise. The U.S. unemployment rate ticked up to 4.1% in June from 4% in the prior month, nearly triggering a reliable recession indicator, says Fortune magazine, as of July 6th. So that is the story. We're going to look at another side of your money today. We're going to look at planning for long-term care. The health insurance and disability insurance does not cover long-term care. 10% of long-term care claimants are covered by Medicare. 52% of people above 65 will need some type of long-term care. And this is a number of states are looking to have a mandate for long-term care taxes. 3 of them in particular are looking strongly at it: Pennsylvania, New York, and California, whereas 11 other states are taking a look at it as well. The first state to mandate long-term care insurance was the state of Washington. They have a 0.6% long-term care tax, but it only covers up to $33,000 of long-term care coverage, which in this marketplace isn't going to go very far. Here's the impact of long-term care on families. 83% of the care is provided to older adults is delivered by friends or family members. 70% of caregivers suffer work-related difficulties due to their caregiving duties, and 20% of full-time employees lose 10 plus hours of work per week during working hours to help an aging loved one. By planning, you're reducing the caregiving burden on your family. Long-term care is a growing issue, 84% increase 87.9 million Americans are aging. Of 47.8 million Americans over 65 in 2015, and 87.9 million over 65 in 2050. Over 85 in 2050 will be a 200% increase. Risk to your financial future. Are you prepared for the potential financial risk and the future consequences that might happen down the line? An unexpected health event, outliving your income, or passing away financially unprepared. So what is long-term care? Personal care or supervision needed by persons of all ages for an extended period of time. Long-term care is associated with effects of aging, but may be needed at any time due to an accident or illness. Some conditions that may require long-term care are a head injury, stroke, cancer, Parkinson's disease, heart disease, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, or dementia. One out of every 7 people ages 65 plus will need long-term care for more than 5 years, whether it be in-home care, be put in an assisted living facility, or in a nursing home. And here are the costs of long-term care across the US. In California, as high as $65,000 to $75,000. The gray area, $75,000 to $95,000. I guess, no, California, I guess, is the darker blue. This other blue is the lighter blue, which is Arkansas, Mississippi, and Georgia. So the darker blue is $95,000 to $115,000. And the darker gray in Washington, which we said has long-term care insurance, is $115,000 to $135,000. And in these darker colors, the annual average is $135,000 to $255,000. Paying for long-term care, who pays? Will medical insurance cover it? So days 0 to 20 pays in full if you're hospitalized for at least 3 consecutive days. 21 days to 100 may pay the difference between the total daily costs and significant copayment if you continue to need skilled nursing care. Days 100 plus does not pay. Assisted living does not pay. Continuing care and retirement community does not pay. Adult care services does not pay. And home health care limited to reasonable, necessary part-time or intermittent skilled nursing. So what are the important long-term care questions? Where are long-term care services provided? What effect could long-term care have on my family and retirement strategy? And what could long-term care cost? What are my options if I need to pay for long-term care? Risk management and long-term care. You take protective measures in other aspects of your life. Long-term care should be no exception. Take care of wellness, transportation, family and wealth, homeowners insurance. Are you taking care of your long-term care insurance needs? So long-term planning, a 3-step process. Living a long life is a near certainty in this day and age. Planning for it is a necessity. 1, understand the risk or need, personal experiences, consequences of living a long life. Develop a strategy to offset this risk. Long-term care is a family issue. There is a risk to family if there is no strategy, so develop a strategy. And 3, implement the strategy. Long-term care insurance planning, self-funding, and a caregiving plan. This is how long-term care insurance works. Long-term care provides a pool of benefit dollars for long-term care to be used when and where it may be needed. May need to go to assisted living, home care, nursing care, facility care, or care coordination services. So what is long-term care insurance? Is there a long-term care hybrid? There's life insurance with riders that can use the base of your life insurance, pay out up to 2% of the face value every month based on the doctor's note. Potentially large death benefits, comparatively low premium costs for the rider, better suited to pay for benefits on a monthly basis if needed. Fixed or index annuities, long-term care options late in life for those with potential concerns, limited or no medical underwriting, 1035 exchange of existing annuity could turn tax-deferred growth into tax-free long-term care benefits, limited or no inflation protection, typically no care coordination, benefit may be taxable. A hybrid approach may help your clients' assets from costs incurred due to long-term care and home health care needs. There may be a standardized benefit trigger, flexibility for a long-term care event, return of premium options may be taxable, and long-term care insurance. This may be a standalone policy, help protect your from the costs incurred due to long-term care or healthcare needs. Inflation protection may have a care coordination benefit, a concierge healthcare plan, tax deductible for business owners, benefit usually not taxable. So that is a brief look there. If anybody has any more questions, take the time now to plan for your long-term care needs and contact me if you would like to learn any more. So that is a look there. We're going to pause right here. So we are back. First, we're going to look at the Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell to around 54,000 on Friday, and it bounced severely. It got up here to 58,200 and it's now been pulling back. It's pulled back to about 56,426. There's a report that Germany had kind of changed its plans and wanted to buy, so they bought back some of the Bitcoin that they had sold. So that is the story there. Let's now go back to our charts. We've been on the subject of long-term care. This is one of the stocks that we're kind of looking at. It has been in a consolidation for a while, but it's definitely showing the Darvis box. You can see right here. And it is trying to bounce out of that box. We just kind of draw this rectangle here. Earnings are up 13% in 2024 and up 10% in 2025. Tried to bring up the ETF, which was under the same ticker, I believe is old. Does not want to come up here, but I found it on Yahoo Finance, and it has a number of these stocks invested in. Welltower, which had broke out, a REIT that invests in healthcare and senior housing facilities. It's grown about the same, 13% and 11%. Veritas, senior housing and healthcare related properties. Peak, for some reason doesn't want to come up, but they do have an investment in Peak. This one doesn't want to come up as well. I'm not sure, maybe out of the country. Omega Healthcare. Investors looks like it's breaking out. It pulled back to the 10-day moving average. Is bouncing negative 2% growth this year and another 6% next year. Ensign Group, which we just looked at, in Sabra Healthcare. Brookdale Senior Living. It's working on a consolidation here. Wow, look at that. 31% estimated growth this year, another 19% next year. We looked at Welltower, we looked at Omega, looked at Veritas. There's National Healthcare Corporation, seem to have broken out, operates 26 assisted living, 5 independent living centers. And CSU, CSU. Does not want to come up, but I'm just going to take a look at, I have a couple more in my IPO group. I believe it's PAX. PAX provides high quality skilled nursing. This is a recent IPO. Here's the IPO base. Broke out of that. Pulled back to it, got close to its 50-day moving average and bounced above its 20-day. And right now it's right at the 10-day moving average. Something to keep your eyes on. Life 360, not necessarily in the same group, but is a recent IPO. Broke out of that IPO base. 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 days. And it has been moving higher. 64% growth this year and another 415% growth in earnings next year. So that is kind of what we're looking at this weekend. So biotech, healthcare, and the metals market are really starting to zoom ahead. Take a little look at what they did. Definitely working on a cup pattern in silver. Got a couple of gaps that could potentially fill. Might want to wait and see if it develops a handle on that cup. Gold. Very similar pattern. Copper. Nice gap up there. Uranium. Take a look at the small company that we have. It tried to move higher and then it sold off down 2.83%. There's a couple of gold mining stocks. I'm just going to pause for a second, bring those up. This one seems a little stretched. Went up about 11% over the weekend. Just going to go through these. Caledonia Mining is not doing so well. Southern Copper. Got to move up there. Got a little lithium. Is really not doing anything. And Wheaton Precious Metals is looking good as it works on this cup formation. Actually broke out over here at 51.05, went up to 57.87, pulled back, and now it's just trending higher. So that is kind of the story with precious metals. The biotech area maybe working on a bottoming formation here. And I think this is healthcare. Yeah, this is a healthcare sector. So healthcare, biotech, and the metals I'd be kind of looking at. See what can be. This is still the leading sector. You can see it hit bottom right here, 76.10. Has just been trending higher. Some of the things that we're trading, Datadog, and Samsara. And we got one other over here. Kind of look at some other. HubSpot isn't really doing so well. Microsoft is a big dog in software. ServiceNow looks like they bottomed. Got a double bottom area right over here. So that's our weekend update. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Your responsibility to do your own due diligence. We hope we brought some value to your weekend, and hope everybody has a great start to their Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.